Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, if the ANC's biggest region, eThekwini, had its way, Zweli Mkhize would be the party's next president. Paul Mashatile will also be appointed his deputy. Mkhize and Mashatile have been endorsed by the region, and it's expected others in the province will follow suit. Now, this resurrects Mkhize's political career and poses a real threat for President Cyril Ramaphosa's second term. Let's discuss this more now with ANC Provincial Secretary Bheki Mtolo. Mr. Mtolo, good morning, and thank you very much for your time. Interesting developments there, particularly in eThekwini, and we do know that this remains a conference of branches where the PEC plays a very minimal role. But firstly, your take on this. Are you ready to as well perhaps pronounce yourselves as the PEC on your preferred candidates?
Well, thanks very much. Greetings to your viewers. Yes, I think we have seen what eThekwini have released, and then we appreciate what they've done, but we are still getting consultation of branches in various regions in the whole province. I think the last regions are going tomorrow to finalize those consultation with branches. Then we will get a consolidated report from branches and make that report available to the special PC that will be held on Monday. Then, based on that report, we will therefore issue what is an overwhelming view of branches in various positions of leadership in the ANC. Then on Tuesday, we'll therefore call a press conference where we inform the nation what is the position of the ANC, informed by branches.
Mr. Mtolo, it seems you guys have stuck to your commitment to allow the branch's voice to be heard, because in other provinces, perhaps we would have seen maybe the PEC pronounce itself on its preferred candidates and then take it to the bottom and lobby for these particular candidates after having perhaps deliberated on the particular names themselves. You've opted this route of allowing them to come up with the names and then you guys push that which they have brought forward from the ground. Talk to me about the rationale behind this as opposed to the other way around.
The rationale behind our approach is that all leaders of the ANC are elected by branches. Then structures don't elect themselves. Then we've taken a decision that let's allow our branches to express what they think will be the best leadership to serve our country going forward. And then we've done that. We are left, I think, with only 2 regions that are going to finalize tomorrow. Then by tomorrow afternoon, I will get a report from those regions. Then I will consolidate the report and then present to the PC an overwhelming overview and mood of the branches in KwaZulu-Natal. Then we take it forward. And then on Tuesday, then we announce what will be the position of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, informed by the branches of the ANC in the provinces.
Mr. Mtolo, generally what we tend to see, or at least what we saw in 2017 in Nasrec, was a very bloody fight. Not in the literal sense, of course, but nevertheless, these factions really were so divided that beyond the conference, even though leaders emerged, there seemed to have been now formations that could never again be dismantled. What is your wish going into this conference this time around? As a new leadership, most of you young in KZN, what do you wish to see come time to enter Nasrec?
Now, ourselves as KwaZulu-Natal, while we are discussing the issue of leadership, but our obsession is not about leadership. It's about focusing on the thing that we think they will improve the life of South Africans. For example, the matters that affect the electricity in the country now, I think it's get to a position where it's unmanageable, it's intolerable. We want to make sure that going forward, we take resolution that we must solve the issue of ESCOM once and for all. We also want to push very hard that the conference must deliberately and emphatically resolve to scrap the e-tolls in Gauteng, because the people of Gauteng, they are suffering a lot on e-tolls. They've been crying for years, but the ANC has never taken a formal position on e-tolls. We'll push, but if we don't survive, it's not a trend smash, we'll continue with this track going forward. And we also want to push the issue of introducing of key programs that will fight poverty, unemployment, and underdevelopment in the rural areas. That's what we focus on. The leadership is part of it, but it's not our main focus.
And I suppose Thabo Mbeki would be proud because he constantly says that leaders should not be really focused more about succession or the leadership conversation, but more about policy that will better the lives of ordinary citizens. When we talk about policies within your party, what is your position on the one member, one vote that many are talking about currently? It's been something long in the making, it's been talked about, but it never seemed to, there was not much appetite to implement. What is your position?
Too dangerous. One member, one vote is very, very dangerous. Remember, if you have one member, one vote, for example, 3 provinces can elect leadership sitting alone. Limpopo, Eastern Cape, Gauteng, and KwaZulu-Natal, they constitute more than 60% of the eNCA membership. It means they can just decide membership and bring their members to vote their candidates. One member, one vote is dangerous because provinces are not the same. You find that KwaZulu-Natal has got the highest membership, followed by Eastern Cape, Limpopo, and Gauteng. Then those 2 provinces can connive and collude and keep all other provinces away from the system. Then one member, one vote is dangerous. It may seem to be attractive, but in a practical sense of implementation, it's very dangerous.
But even now, though, some are saying they're able to connive and collude because we're seeing certain branches being bought, or at least they allege that some branches are being bought, or members where you have a branch having told you that this is the position we're taking, we're going to vote, but something happens when they're at the conference. So even now there seems to be a problem. So what would be the way to resolve this issue?
Those of us who grew up in the ANC, we don't normally put the mark on the outcome of conferences. When you lose a conference, you have lost a conference. You don't say, because remember, people will always cry about the conference that has been bought are people who have lost a conference. Then I've never seen people who have emerged and say, you have emerged, but your conference was bought. It's people who have lost a conference. Those of us who grew up in the ANC have lost lots of conferences and lost lots of conferences in the youth league. We normally don't put much on the outcome of a conference. Accept the conference outcome. As you know, in KwaZulu-Natal, we were clear, we were supporting NTZ in 2017. Then the first biggest gathering that President Ramaphosa addressed was January 8 in Moses Mapita Stadium in KwaZulu-Natal, fully packed at 90,000 capacity. Because we accepted. When we left Nasrec, we knew that there's a new president. We didn't put mud on the conference, undermine the integrity of the conference. I think because there's no proof. Even if you buy a delegate, I always say this, even if you buy a delegate, there's no guarantee that the delegate will vote for you because at the ballot, the delegate is alone. Only person we think we know that sees the delegate voting is only God.
And then your position now on the electricity crisis, there are those that are saying that perhaps there needs to be a relook at the leadership at Eskom currently, that perhaps it might be time for them to leave and give another crop of leaders a chance to steer the ship in the right direction, while others say do not interrupt what they are attempting to do now. Where do you stand on this?
What are they attempting to do? They are attempting to give us stage 8, stage 6 load shedding. That's what they are attempting to do. You see, I think I've made this. Let me repeat it again. The simple management tool is that if you bring a new leader in the institution, it's because you have appreciated that the leader that was there was not doing right. You bring a new leader to do something good. Then, if you look when Agri Director came in from Eskom as the CEO, he has contributed to the load shedding that is above the whole load shedding that Eskom has ever experienced in the history of South Africa. Then why do you keep him? We keep him because you just love him. The guy knows nothing about Eskom. Really, let's face the truth. The guy knows nothing about Eskom. I think the only reason why it's kept there is kept there to drive the issue of independent power producers, because people, they just want to milk Eskom further. That's the only reason why it's kept there. It's not kept there. It is proven in Eskom coal power plants, they got even excess capacity to provide the counter on. If the coal power plants are managed and are serviced and maintenance is done, quality maintenance is done on daily basis. But you know why? When you meet all the managers and generation managers from various power stations, they speak language he does not understand. He knows nothing about the delivery. They speak, and he can't argue with them, Shane. He's helpless. It's like myself. If you take me to say I must lead Eskom, I can't differ with an artisan. at Teletabo Power Station where he says this is supposed to be done, because he says things I don't know. Then you are literally saying I must go and coach Kaizer Chiefs, and Kaizer Chiefs, when it loses games, you think you must blame me. Why you blame me? I've never played soccer. I've never learned how to coach a soccer team. Then if you take me to coach a soccer team because you love me, then what else to expect?
Mr. Mtolo, thank you very much for your time this morning. That was ANC KZN Provincial Secretary Bheki Mtolo. To this story.